Green light. Here we go. Today is lesson 18 of our foundation series, and we are going to be playing Amazing Grace, and we're going to be learning about minimizing motion. So, one of the things when most of us start playing ukulele, we're so busy over here, we're missing out on all kinds of enjoyment of making the music, and so today we're going to fix that a little bit. Hopefully, paste. We'll use the song Amazing Grace and the lovely G chord, which most of us, when we are newer, we kind of hate G chord just a little bit. And there we go. We'll solve that hatred today. In the meantime, let me go post this Foundation for Instrumental Ukulele Baritone Ukulele lesson number 18. I'm going to tweet us, https://jollyrogerukulele.com. That's our website. And I'm putting on lesson 18. I have slowly building up little pieces of, these days I can't take a photo of myself. I used to always take a photo of myself, but with the new software, I have to post cover sheets to these videos in order for there to be a thing, and otherwise it's just whatever YouTube makes, I think. Anyway, so I've been posting on little things. Foundations class, I have this little girl running down the street, and I thought it was a cute photo. So we're on lesson 18. Lesson 18 today is going to cover Amazing Grace. Our website is Jolly Roger Ukulele, if I didn't say that already. And what we'll be working on today is not taking our left hand off of the ukulele. We'll also be getting to meet a couple of new chords and dealing with the bar chord. And then as we move into next week, Happy Birthday, La Cucaracha, All Through the Night, and Home on the Range. All of those have specific playing techniques that are associated with them next week. So we're getting our toolbox filled up with tools. That's the plan anyway. Let's see. Tomorrow is Friday. We have our end of the week concert. Make a Better Bar worksheet, Brahms Lullaby, Yankee Doodle, Key of C Arpeggio, and Amazing Grace. So we have a good week of the music's getting pretty legit now. A lot less about exercises and learning skills, and now we're at the point where we're actually trying to make music. And so little by little we'll get there, guys, right? Alright, so I've tweeted. I am going to make sure that the link is working properly on the website. March 4th. Is today March 4th already? Oh my gosh. Alright, so that's that. Alright, let's get started. All right, in from the wild Lynn over in New Jersey. It's sunny but cold out there today. I saw on the news it looks like you're going to have less sun and more cold on your way, Lynn. Donna's here in Denver. We're cloudy and cold today. We're miserable. It's supposed to be 70 degrees next Monday, so we have a warm-up from here today. They mentioned we might get a little bit of rain, possibly a flake or two of snow this afternoon. It's all right. It's Colorado. We can handle bad weather for about 8-10 hours, and then after that we have to start crying about it. It's been cloudy since about 8 this morning, so we're on hour number 4. You get 4 more hours of being terrible out there, then you got to straighten up Colorado. Marilyn is in. Hey, Q. In from California. Sarah is in. Not Sarah. Sarah. This is Mindy. She goes incognito. In from Montana. Mindy, good to see you. Mindy, in regard to your email, yesterday we talked about it a little bit. We're going to talk about it some more today. So don't miss yesterday's lesson if you can. If you can, take a minute to run back through and watch yesterday's lesson. I think I'll help you out a little bit. Michelle, newer, welcome in. Michelle, I'm supposed to say where you're from and what the weather's like there. That's our plan anyway. Until I memorize you, and then I just make up the weather for you. Janice is in. She's in from Scotland. Good evening to you. And it's freezing up there. Brr. Put another log on the fire, Janice. Let's see. Linda's in from Colorado Springs. Oh, is it snowing down there already, Linda? Yeah, they said we might get that. Where do you find your Scottish songs? Where do I find the Scottish songs? I have I have several sources. One, I'm about out of the songs that I know, just know, right? And And then I have a folder in my computer, which I've been over the years. I hear a song, I'm like, oh, I'm going to do that someday, and I stick something in that folder to remind me to go check it out. I have a couple of Scottish drinking songs. I think Irish/Scottish drinking songs books. Got a couple of tin whistle books that have Scottish music in it. Mostly I'm trying to pick ones that are not obscure. I have a 6-volume set of Scottish music, and it was all of the songs that you should know in Scotland, according to, I think it's about 1890 or so that this set of was collected. I can't remember the exact dates on it. I apologize. I shouldn't have said that. I'm not positive when this book was this encyclopedia of Scottish music was put together. Pretty old, and the problem with those is they are pretty obscure, and so they're songs that might be well known in Scotland but are not well known anywhere else. And so while I love going through that, I love finding sort of surprises, and almost all Scottish music is just delightful to work on. I've been trying to pick ones that are a little bit more well known. So yeah, so it's a mixed bag. Also, the internet is unbelievable for providing. You type in Google favorite Scottish songs or whatever, and there's just you'll always find a list of places to get started. And then most of the stuff that I work on, I like it to be public domain if I can, and so I tend to look at music from 1925 or older. And anytime I can find something that's beautiful and really well goes on the ukulele well, that's gold mine for me. And Scottish and Irish music is really, really very cooperative with this style of play and fitting onto a ukulele for the most part. So that's how I approach it anyway. Nancy, sunny and 76 in Florida. A little chilly down there in Florida. Lynn says more inside time to. I know, right? Dude, that's the good news about bad weather. Is you just stay inside and play. Rockaway Beach. That's right. I'm sorry, Michelle. I'm going to memorize that. So glad you're here, Michelle. Rob is in from Texas. 68 degrees. Slowly starting to warm up down there and beautiful. Broke a tooth this morning. Has to do with atomic fireballs. Rob, you're supposed to give up atomic fireballs after you go through puberty. I don't know if they mentioned that to you in the in the little pamphlet that they give you. Atomic fireballs. I haven't had one of those, I swear, since I was a kid. So yeah, don't eat those. They're not good for you. I'm sorry you busted your tooth open, but I'm glad you're prioritizing going. Your choices: play ukulele or go to the dentist, and clearly you're making the right choice. Janice, Wild Mountain Time is a beautiful Scottish song. All right, that's going to go on the list, Janice. I fell behind on my list this week. I just am running out of time. I got too many pieces of things going, and I just straight up ran out of time this week. But I'm hoping for a solid weekend, and I will catch up on some of the other music that I'm trying to write. I just posted, for those of you who who just logged in, the class after this is going to be doing a song called Parting Glass, which was originally I hope I didn't mess it up. Hold on. I think I messed it up. I did. Doggone it. I hate it when I do that. I'll have to repost it, but so we're going to wrap it up kind of quickly here. I goofed up the posting on it, but it's a song called Parting Glass, and it is beautiful, and it's mostly, I think, these days known as an Irish tune, but it was originally a Scottish tune, and so we're going to work on that in next hour, and we're going to work on a thing called offbeat strumming, which is a more advanced technique. It might be fun for you guys to sit in on that. So I can't believe I goofed that up. I spent all this time getting it fixed, and then I goofed it up. So all right, hold on. I'm going to be messing with this while we're going through here. Give me just a second. I want to fix that so that you guys can at least pull up the sheet music. Delete. The problem with having two computers is you leave one open, you fix it on one computer, and then all of a sudden it's not fixed on the other computer, and then you hit save on the other computer, and it messes everything up. So this is the problem with being overly having too much technology in the same house. All right, let me make 2 more adjustments to it, and then you guys can pick up your copy of it. Copy, let's see. edit. Enter, click, edit, parting glass. Let's see if I got this right. Okay, parting glass, enter. Okay, so I think that's parting glass ukulele, parting glass baritone. I'm going to hit update. Let's see if we got the website straightened up here. The fun part about Parting Glass is, and I did not know this, I've known about the song for a long time, it's in every Irish drinking song book, but which there are surprisingly a lot of them. All right, so now they're working. So if you want, go over, check on the Tougher Uke section on Thursday, March 4th, Parting Glass. It's a lovely tune. But the fun part about Parting Glass was, as I was putting it together, Ed Sheeran did a version of it. He did it as if he's, drunk in a bar, but he did get it. He did do one. So we're doing, what the kids are listening to these days. So yeah, you can go check that out. Rockaway Beach. I'm gonna remember that. They are a good way to get rid of unwanted teeth. Go to the dentist, Rob. You need all your teeth. You're going to need extra. They're going to have to put in a few. I got one here they had to put in. All right, Janice. Do you mind sharing that? Q. Let's see. Q. Hey, everybody, don't forget to click on... Oh, the small thumbs up one. Yeah, absolutely. All right, so let's get going on Parting Glass. I'm sorry, not Parting Glass. Amazing Grace. So you've pulled up I like to teach it in the ukulele version first, and then those of you with baritone players, you know the drill. You baritone players, you got to be a little bit more. You got to be a little tougher, right? You got to be able to learn it one way and then play it another way, type thing. So, all right, Amazing Grace on ukulele. Now, guys, one of the things I notice as I'm teaching, and one of the things that was true with me as well, is our tendency when we're getting ready for a chord change, we pull everybody off, we think a little bit, and then we put the next chord on, and we want to minimize that as much as possible. And in music, one of our tenets of smart playing is we don't do anything we don't have to do. If you don't have to take a chord off, we don't take the chord off. So in this case, we're going to be playing Amazing Grace. Your main chord is G. Okay, index, middle, ring. Baritones, that's going to be a D chord for you. Same process. Okay, index, middle, ring. Okay. And then when you see a C chord coming, we just want to roll down, right? Lift these up just a little bit, roll down, play that, put them back on. Now every time I see there's a scene in a romantic comedy and somebody gets a ukulele out, they've got their pinky finger all twisted up weird like this, right? And that's creating extra tension. Doesn't do you any good. Okay, so just keep your pinky soft. When you go down, roll down. You don't need to pull everybody off, go have lunch, and then come back and put your C chord on. You're just rolling it down, and then rolling it back to G. So almost no motion, right? Very, very little motion. The less you move around over here, the higher percentage chance you've got of getting it right. Okay, and so there's that. Then down going in from measure 6 into measure 7, you're going to be at a G. You're going to go into that D7. Okay, just raise these two fingers. Just raise up. Okay, basically leave your ring finger where it's supposed to be there. Just lifting it up, and then go back to G, and then go back to C, back to G, back to D7, and back to G. Okay, so you can see how little motion it is. That's why this thing is set up the way we tune the ukulele the way we do, is so that we really can, on the ukulele-friendly keys, minimize the amount of motion we have over here. We're going to be playing in keys that are not ukulele-friendly as you become more advanced player, and then it's a whole nother issue. But for most of the stuff, especially like if you go to your ukulele strum-along there in your neighborhood or your city or whatever, you're going to be playing songs with lots of basically ukulele-friendly chords, which is what they should be doing. And Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound Okay, so we're barely moving. So let's get our G chord on. By the way, the entire previous week we've been working in the key of C. Your main chord in the key of C is C, obviously, and then you skip 2 and 3. So C, D, E, F, and G, right? So we've done a lot of work with the C chord, the F chord, and the G chord. Now we're moving over into the key of G. And so G is your main chord, which changes these two guys, right? G is here. Now we skip A and B, and we're going to play C's and D's. And sure enough, that's what shows up here in your song, is some G's, some C's, and some D's. And as we play into other keys, the same principle will arise. Remember, day number 2 of your ukulele experience, we used that little kid's book. It's not really a kid's book anymore. A, D, and E7. A, we put A here, skipped B and C. D and E7 were the other 2 chords in that. And so a lot of times, if you're not 100% sure all of the chords in a song, it will, for the most part, follow that program. You've got to get into some fairly contemporary and sophisticated songwriting when it doesn't do that. All folk music goes into the 1-4-5 pattern, and most classical music goes into the 1-4-5 pattern. Jazz, they kind of mess around with that just a little bit, but popular music, it almost has to follow this, because this is how our hearing mechanism is set up, that we like this process of 1, 4, and 5. So you're on G chord. That's your main chord now. Its best friend, or one of its friends, is C chord. And then you come back to G, back to D7, and back here. Okay. If you have a baritone, okay, you are on G chord. That's what your G chord looks like. Your C chord, you know from last week, looks like this. Okay. And your D7 chord, again, minimizing motion, just drag this down and add this on here. Okay, so let me just show you on baritone how your chords in this key are going to be working. And the key will change when we switch to your sheet music. Here's your G chord. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. Like me. Okay, so from here, there's your C, and your D7 is, again, set up very conveniently for you. So G is also a nice chord pattern to be playing on baritone. Let's play the ukulele version. Baritone players, you're strumming 3 beats per measure. Okay, I'm going to be minimizing the motion here. 1, 2. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. 2, 3, 1, 2. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. 2, 3. Okay, so minimizing emotion, trying not to pull everybody off, rethink, and put something new on. Just the least amount of motion possible is the right amount of motion. You're going to be busy as instrumental ukulele players, and so the less work you are thrashing about is going to be, the less thrashing about the better. The less atomic fireballs you eat, the better. And so we're here. Okay, so now that's how you would attack it if you are strumming it, right? If you are playing the melody, let's start by holding your G chord. Okay, and this is going to go, Mindy had a question as she was looking at this. She's like, I'm struggling a little bit on tough uke because I look at the tough uke and I see all these numbers. I'm not entirely sure what I'm supposed to be doing. And so we're going to start today by talking in more detail about how to play melody, and that will lead then into that discussion of tough uke. So if I'm holding the G chord, my first note in this melody line is a 2, and I'm already holding it down. Next note's a 3, I am already holding it down. Next note's 2, 3, 2, I'm already holding those notes down as well. Okay. Last note in measure 2 is a 0. Currently I'm holding a 2 and my middle finger, so I need to lift that up. And then the next note's a 3, I'm still holding that one down. Next note's a 0 on my, under where my ring finger is currently, so I'm going to lift that up. And then I have a 2, which I'm already holding down at the beginning of measure 4. Okay, and my next note's a 2 on the same string, so I'm going to hit that. Next note's a 3, so I'm reassembling my G chord so that I can pluck my ring finger on there, and now it's on the 3. 2, 3, 2, already holding them down. Middle finger up to get the 0, and then pinky up here on 5. Now if you've noticed, I'm basically done nothing significant over here with this hand other than modifying it just a little bit to accommodate what's going on in the melody. Okay, measure 7 and 8, that's a long note. 5, it's tied, whenever you see a note that's tied to another note, 5 with a dot tied to a 5 without a dot, that's 3 beats of 5 in the first measure, in measure 7, and 2 beats of 5 in measure 8, and they're tied together. So it's a one gigantic long note. It looks crazy on the paper, but that's all, it's just a 5-beat note. Okay, next note's a 2. Now I've been playing with my pinky here, and I had to lift up my middle finger earlier, so I'm going to pull the pinky and put my middle finger back down. Now I've got this 2 again, and now I got to put my pinky back up on 5, then I'm going to take it off again, and I hit my 2. 3 I'm already holding down, 2 I'm already holding down. Got a 0 now, lifting up my middle finger, and then I'm going to hit a 3, I'm already holding down. Now I got to lift that up to get that out of the way to get a 0. Already holding the 2 down from the G chord. Hit again. Put your G chord back on. Got that 3 here. 2, 3, 2. You're already holding them down. Okay. Lift your middle finger up to hit the 0. And then the 3. You're already holding it down. Let's play from the top. 1, 2. From the top. 1, 2. Middle finger. Ring finger. Put your G chord back on. Middle finger up. Pinky finger down. Long note. Pinky finger up, middle finger back down, pinky finger. Get your pinky finger out of the way. Middle finger up. Ring finger up. G chord back on. Okay, that's all we're doing. Okay? So one more time, baritone players, you're just giving me a nice 3-beat pattern. 1, 2. That's the message here. Doing the least amount of motion, and all the notes are already being held down, and so hopefully that is starting to make a little bit of sense. Okay, now you've basically held the G chord almost all the way through that whole song. Now let's take a look at the tough uke. First note stays the same, still holding the G chord. And now, instead of just hitting the 3, we're going to strum down 0, 2, 3 just by holding the chord. And the chord tells you right up above the chords and lyrics line, right above the standard notation, what shape your hand should be in. Okay, so I'm holding this shape, and now it's easy to hit 0, 2, 3. Then I hit 2, 3. I'm already holding them down. And then 0, 2, 3, 2, same exact shape as what the G chord is. Okay, now I'm going to have to make a modification. Middle finger up. Now the chord says 0, 0, 3, but the melody note is here. So now I'm just going to hit 0, 0, 3. I'm going to use my ring finger there, and I'm going to have to lift up my index finger to get it out of the way from the G chord. So now I'm sort of a C chord. Here's the regular C chord. Here's the modified C chord. Okay, then lift your ring finger up to hit the 0. Then go ahead and put your G chord back on. Hit the 2 again at the end of 4. Little strum. 2, 3. Already holding them down. 0, 2, 3, 2. That's exactly what you're holding down. Lift your middle finger up to get the 0. Now it looks super scary, but it's not as big of a deal as you'd think. Bar on 2, 2, 2, 2, and pinky up here on 5. That's it. Okay, that's all you're going to do. Okay, what you're really doing is making a full D chord with your pinky, but it looks weird and it's hard to do. If you put a bar there, it's much easier. Okay, and then we strum that. 2, 3, 1, 2. Now, when you take your pinky away, you're already holding down a 2 with your bar. And here's the hardest part of the song. G chord, put it on, pinky up on 5. Strum that. Get rid of your pinky. Another G chord at the measure 10. Lift your middle finger up. 0, 0, 3 for the C chord. I have to sneeze. Sorry. Hit a 0. And then we'll go back to your G chord at measure 12. 2, 3. Bar 14. You got a nice bar on 2. Lift up your bar. And G chord on the end. So, if you're looking at Tough Uke and you're like, man, there's an awful lot of numbers there, I don't really know what's going on, go use the chords up above there as advice. In the foundations class, that will almost always work. You look down, 0, 2, 3. Shoot, I don't know exactly how to make that shape. Go up, look at the chord, and for the most part, it will tell you. Now, that's not true always, especially if the melody starts to go up the neck, and almost always in the more advanced music we do in next hour, you're going to have lots of chords that are up the neck. The chord up here doesn't look anything like the chord on the chart that you're supposed that it's suggesting, and that's something you have to get used to. But in foundations class, this intro class, you're not going to run into that terribly much, and mostly it's going to be exactly what it shows. So let's play it one more time and then we'll switch to the baritone, and then we'll run through any questions you guys are developing right now. I don't have the chat up yet here. All right. Oh, okay. You're not chatting. Okay, good. Because you're playing music. So from the top, one time through, try to minimize your motion. 1, 2. 2, strum. 2, 3, strum. Middle finger up. Oh, 0, 0, 3. Oh, 2. Put your G chord back on. 2, strum. 2, 3, strum. Middle finger up. Oh, bar on 2. Pinky on 5. Okay. A lot of times when I'm teaching this, my fingers will tuck under like this because I'm trying to show you. I don't want you to play it that way. I want you to play it with your fingers still ready to go. Okay, just off the fretboard. Okay, let's go get the 2 at the end of measure 8. Bar on G chord with the pinky on 5. 2, 3, 2. Strum. Middle finger up. O, G chord. Strum. 2, 3. Bar on 2. O, G chord, 0, 2, 3. One more time from the top. 1, 2. Trying to do the least amount of work possible over here. doing something nice and smooth and slow over here, and so that you have a chance to get everything right over here. Got 3 different ways we played. We played with chords, we played with melody, and we played with chord and melody. If you are getting together with another ukulele player, you're going to end up on melody because they're not going to know how to do that. And so they're going to get chords, and they're be doing amazing grace, how sweet the sound. That's what they're going to be doing. Your job is going to be, and that's what you're going to play. So you can play duets with that, where you play melody, they play chords, everybody has a good time. But ultimately, what I want you to be able to be comfortable with is playing that tough uke line. And again, the way you figure out what's going in tough uke, for the most part, is to go peek at the chord and says, all right, the chord says this. I'm going to look down and double check. It says 0, 2, 3. Well, sure enough, 0, 2, 3. Cool. And I can strum that. Okay. It won't work all of the time, but that's going to give you a good head start as you're developing your knowledge of the patterns that show up on the paper, and it will get easier as the more times you see it. One of the things that I know for sure is you got to, as you're practicing, as you're playing, as you're continuing to show up, a lot of these patterns start to look the same again and again and again and again, and you'll be like, oh yeah, I know, I've seen this before, I know what's going on. Okay, but that takes a while, and it's not going to happen tomorrow. But it'll start happening a little bit more and more and more. When you see 0003, you know. Okay? You don't have to think about it anymore. But when you are newer and you see 023, you're like, oh shoot, what the heck is that? Well, that's a G chord, and you just use your chord up there to give you some advice. Okay, let's switch over to the baritone version. Okay, ukulele players. Here's your D chord, index, middle, ring. Okay, all in the 2nd fret. Okay, that's how you know if you have the right size ukulele, if you can do that. D chord is there. Okay, baritone players, your D chord is there. Same as the G chord that we just did. Okay, baritone players, your G chord is right here. Okay, ukulele players, your G chord is what we just worked on, index, middle, ring. Okay, and then your other chord in this one is your A7 for baritone. That's index and middle right up here, just as the same as D7 on the other instrument. And your ukulele players, your A7 is 1 finger, 1st fret, 3rd string. Okay, right there. Okay. Ukulele players, give me 3 beats per measure of those chords. D chord, G chord, A7. Okay? Baritone players, let's play the melody. 1, 2. Three, 1, 2. Okay. If you guys were watching any of the inauguration or any of that stuff in the United States here, this song gets played quite a bit, right? Because it's a little bit churchy, but not too churchy, and so you see this show up on a lot of these political things that go on. The nice part is that it's not terribly hard to play, and so it's pretty easy to pull it off. And you'll see professional musicians. You need me to come do this political thing for whatever fundraiser? Yeah, I'll come. I'll do Amazing Grace. And I'll be like, oh, that'll be beautiful. And you're like, well, there's nothing really in that song. It's pretty straightforward. So typical American stuff, right? Now, baritone players, let's play the tough uke. And ukulele players, you are again double checking D chord, G chord, A7. You're not paying attention to when you're on chords. You may or may not necessarily be looking at the charts. You just have to know this is a D chord, this is a G chord, this is an A7 chord. Your charts look different, obviously. Let's give it a try. Baritone players on tough uke, same as with same exact procedure as the ukulele players just went through. 1, 2. 2 strum. 2, 3, strum. Middle finger up. Oh, index finger up. 0, 0, 3. Oh, D chord back down. 0, 2. 2, strum. 2, 3, strum. 0, and then a bar on 2, pinky on 5. 2, 3, 1, 2. 2, D chord with your pinky. 2, 3. Strum. 0, 0, 0, 3. 0, D chord. 2. 2, 0, 2, 3. 2, 3. Bar on 2. Hit the 0. And 0, 2, 3. Isn't that nice? Okay. One more time from the top. 1, 2. Two. That's it. Okay. So you have chords, you have melody, you have chord melody. The one I want you to get good at is playing tough uke, because then you will be more than happy hanging out in your basement with you and your ukulele and a piece of sheet music, and that's as good as life can get. Okay, let's talk about tomorrow. And let's talk about challenges you might be facing. Right now, your head's probably exploding just a tiny bit. Gary's like, it's easy, no problem. All this is very hard. There's a reason why it's a small group, right? This is super hard. If you're just messing around with a ukulele, you play a D chord, G chord, A7 chord, you sing through the song, you're like, oh, that's fun. And then pretty soon that ukulele ends up in the back of your closet. When you're working at this level, when you're working on this style of play, you have lots of choices. You're taking one piece of music and tearing the whole song apart, breaking it down into all these different parts, really digging into it. Some of it's going to be easy, some of it's going to be super confusing. You have to have faith that if you keep showing up and you keep working on this, that you will get it. Okay, I've had 0% failure rate on those people who keep showing up, and I've had, I believe, 100% failure rate. I don't know, when people stop showing up, I'm not sure what they do after that, but I'm pretty sure they're not still playing ukulele. Okay, so that's the difference. Whether you practice or not, this is practice, right? This is showing up to class. This is hopefully teaching you something. Let me give you a thought about tomorrow. Tomorrow is Friday. Thank God. It feels like a year and a half ago when we worked on Brahms Lullaby. And so pull that up, revisit it. Might still be putting up a fuss. All of the stuff we do when we switch over to playing tough uke on every song, it is entirely possible for you to get a little discouraged. Please don't be that person, okay? You are working on something that's incredibly, incredibly complicated, and it is going to take a little while before it starts. The light bulb's going to go bzz, 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 and it'll eventually turn on. But give yourself permission to be terrible at this for a while until the light bulb really starts to dig in. But the day it comes in, you'll be like, oh, I don't know why this was so hard. And then I will throw harder music at you, is what happens. Brahms Lullaby, make a better bar worksheet. Make sure that you're working on that. I would warm up every day with your make a better bar worksheet. Next thing is Brahms Lullaby. We'll play that through several different ways, several different times. We'll play Yankee Doodle, and then Amazing Grace as well. Honestly, of those three, Brahms Lullaby is the one everybody knows. It's a beautiful song. It's one worth absolutely working on. Amazing Grace, not quite as hard. So of the three, honestly, Yankee Doodle is the one that's a little bit tough. And so spend a little bit of time on that. And then, of course, we will work on the key of C arpeggio. I may move that to the front of the class just to get your fingers all warmed up. How I like people, my private students, how I like them to work is I like them to do the Make a Better Bar worksheet every single time they warm up, and to play an arpeggio every single time they warm up. And if I can get that way, they're warming up their left hand and their right hand, get their system nice and warm, and then play their through their tunes. And obviously, I don't even care if they play through the entire tune. I just want to go focus in on those parts of the songs that are hard, which is what you should be doing as well. Don't waste your time playing through the whole song if only one part of it's giving you a fuss. And so go work on those parts of the song that are giving you a fuss, and that will be time much better spent than just trying to play through the song. That's not necessarily a very effective practice strategy. Tomorrow you show up on time, you're looking good, you shave, Gary, and try to look real nice, be ready for your concert. Get in that habit of having all your stuff ready, your sheet music, your music stand, whatever you're doing, that you get there, you're sitting down, you're ready to go, you're waiting on Gary. That's what you want when you have concerts. You're waiting for the concert master to sit down, tune everybody up, and then the conductor comes on. And so all of that stuff you want to be clear and clean and ready to go on. All right, that's what we're doing for the week. Next week, happy birthday, La Cucaracha, all through the night, and Home on the Range. You have 4 really solid pieces of music next week. Each one has a new idea behind it. If you want to come to next hour, we're going to dig in. We're going to tear parting glass. We're going to work on that until it turns into, what does glass turn into if you crush it? Oh, wait, sand turns into glass. That's what it is. We're going to work on it until we're sick of it. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. And I hope all that makes sense to you. Let's see. Lynn says, and banging your head against the wall. Yeah, a little banging your head against the wall. Here's what you have to think about. Okay? In order to do this successfully, you have to turn off your mouth. That's the easy way of making music, is you sing, right? That's the easy way. That's what everybody. If you either don't like singing, you don't want to sing, or you're trying to learn in another way, we're now going to take what comes out typically out of our mouth and put it through our fingers. Much more difficult to do, and it will take a while. So be patient. Sounds like my garage. Your garage light. We have a light in the other room. It's a fancy light in our bedroom. It's on the wall sconce, and we wanted a fancy one. And about every 15 minutes, the light bulb decides, and they're expensive light bulbs, so we let them go. But they go, right, Janice. The bar sheet today for the first time. No bad tones. There you go. See, if we keep doing it. Right, the bar sheet, I get bad tones on it regularly. It's pretty challenging. So, yeah. All right, guys. Have a wonderful day. I'll see some of you next hour. I'll see the rest of you tomorrow, and we'll do a concert. Have a great afternoon. I'm going to pull the plug.